Good morning, wonderful students at home. Welcome to yet another class on English language. I still remain Susan. I'm taking your English language. Okay, today we'll be looking at grammar, revising verb and verb phrases. Alright? And we'll be looking at this objective by the end of today's lesson. So by the end of today's lesson, we should be able to define verb and tenses. You should be able to list the types and explain them. You should be able to identify them and curate your own, following the structure that you'll be seeing. Alright, so what is a verb? Let's start with a verb. A verb is an action word, it's a doing word. It's a verb, it's a word that indicates action or a state of being. Okay? And the tenses show time. Tenses show time. And generally we'll have three tenses. We have the present tense, we have the past tense, and we'll have the future tense. For today's lesson, we're beginning with the present tense, which is subdivided into four. The first one is the present simple tense, the present continuous tense, the present perfect tense, and the present perfect continuous tense. We'll begin with the present tense, the present simple tense. Generally, before we go into the present simple tense, let's know what the present tense is all about. The present tense is used to describe current action, okay? Current activity. I mean, how something is presently. Okay, we have the present simple tense. The present simple tense is used to talk about plans, to give directions, to talk about habits, to make a wish, to talk about universal truths, likes and dislikes. And it has this structure. The structure is the base form alone, the base form of a verb, and then or the base form plus s. If I say the base form talks about the original way a verb appears. If it is go, it stays like that. Now, the base form of this verb is go, while the base form plus s will be what? Goes. So, all the verbs we will be seeing under the present simple tense should either be in the base form alone or have the base form plus the s. We have example. I play every day. Remember, it is used to talk about habitual action, habits. So I play every day is a very good example. So you look at this play here. The play is just the base form of the verb without any addition. And why do we have this without any addition? We have this because of the rule of concord. When you use I, the verb that follows it should not carry an s, because a verb that does not carry an s is actually a plural verb. The exception is the I. We know the rule of we know the concord rule that talks about this. The next one is I like the red car. I like the red car. Remember I said it could be used to talk about likes and dislikes. So I like the red car is a like. Okay, preference. I like. The like hasn't got an s because the same thing, the same rule applies here. She likes the purple box. This like has got an s. Base form plus s. B plus s. Next one is the present progressive or the continuous tense. Present continuous tense. This talks about an ongoing action. The next tense we'll be talking about is the present progressive tense, or same thing as present continuous tense. This talks about an action ongoing. An ongoing action it also describes a future planned action without the use of will or shall. Remember, it talks about an ongoing action, and it can also talk about a future action without the use of will or shall. I'll explain. The structure of this is am, is, or are plus the continuous verb or the ing form of the verb. An example is this, or examples on the board. We have Ali is coming tomorrow. Ali is coming tomorrow. Ali is coming. Now this talks about what will happen tomorrow. Remember I said a future or planned action without the use of will or shall. There is no will or shall here, but still you get the feeling that it is something that is yet to happen, an action yet to happen. Another one is Philip and James are digging a hole. This one is an ongoing action. As I'm speaking to you, they are both digging a hole. Another one is I am leaving. I am leaving. This one can be used, this one can give you two ideas. It can either give you an idea that it is ongoing or give you an idea that it is yet to happen. You can say, I am leaving. You are actually stepping out. I'm leaving. You can see me leaving. Alright, ongoing action. Or it can be used to talk about what I plan to do. You just stand up and say, I'm leaving. That means the next thing that you see me doing is actually walking out. Alright, the next one is the present perfect tense. This is used to describe an action which is just recently completed. An action just recently completed. The structure is has or have plus the past participle of the verb. The past participle of the verb is the third form of the verb. Okay, the first form could be see, second one saw, the last one is seen. So example is James has seen. Remember, has seen. Why is it has? Because it is just recently completed. If you say had, that means two things would have happened in the past. Okay, so for this present perfect tense, it is has. Okay, James has seen the ball. Another one is they have arrived. They have arrived. Have. Another reason for using has is not just because it is the present perfect tense, but because you use has for the singular subject. You use has for the singular subject. Example, you use has for I. Use has for he, she, and what? It. Okay, and even somebody's name. You use has for he, she, it, or someone's name. And this one is someone's name. For you to use have, it should be with they. Okay, they, we, you. Alright? They, we, you, and I. Use they. So they have arrived. The next tense is the present perfect progressive tense. This is used to describe an action which began at a known or unknown time in the past to the present in a progressive form. Okay, I'm talking about something that began in the past, the time known or time unknown, and the action actually continued on to the present time. Okay, so that means you have to use the progressive verb, the ing verb have to suffice here. So the structure is has been, or have been, plus the progressive verb. Has been or have been plus the progressive verb. The rule that applies with the use of have and has still applies here. So I have been seeing her. I'm seeing her here since last week. I have been seeing her here since last week. Been seen. So as at the point you are talking, maybe you are still seeing her. Okay? Another one is my students have been playing. My students have been playing. Okay? Sorry, have been paying attention. My students have been paying attention. Have been paying. So paying attention. They began paying attention at a point in the past that I do not know, or I did not state. Okay? To the present point I'm talking to you. So they have been paying attention. Remember I said that it began at the point known or unknown. So when you say my students have been paying attention, I didn't state the time they began paying attention, but as I'm talking to you, they are still paying attention. The other one is she has been disturbing her neighbors. She has been disturbing her neighbors. Okay, the time unknown in the past, but till this moment, I'm still getting the complaint that she still disturbs her neighbors. All-right, remember when we started? We began with the definition of verb and the tenses, and then we went straight to the present tense. Okay, and we broke the present tense into four: the present simple tense, the present progressive continuous tense, the present perfect tense, and then the present perfect progressive tense. I'm sure you've had a wonderful ride with me talking about the present tense. Next time we'll be talking about the past tense, followed by the the future tense. Thank you so much for paying attention, and God bless you once again.